all goes kaput and you go, whoopsie. Oh.
Okay, so I think we are live. We're always in the middle of we are always in the middle of an interesting chat. You know, we are, and then you know, bam shakalaka, boom, we are live. So here we are, Wellness Conversations, the Woo Woo series, presented by our wellness community, sponsored by Spiritual Events Directory, and also our events partners, whom I keep forgetting to mention each week. So Julie Lewin, Medical Intuitive, Luann Marine, Goddess on Purpose, and Sondre Kalnick, Feminine Power and Prosperity. So here we are. My name is Michelle Scott, and I bring into the space each and every week a fabulous, gifted, talented, gorgeous, spiritual, wellness, holistic lady in biz. And this week I've got Heal with Gwenda. Welcome to the show.
Michelle, hello. So good to be here, and hi everyone.
Do you love my intro? I go into my radio voice.
It's beautiful.
So I wanted to say this, Gwenda, about yourself. Heal with Gwenda. So to our audience, ladies and gents in Spiritual Events Directory land, Gwenda is a spirit medicine woman and leader in holistic healing. And Gwenda says, many of my students refer to me as a WayMaker, which I love that word, a conduit for connecting them to their higher self or soul. Gwenda says, my vision is to show you the way to your inner greatness and innate wisdom so that you can be free to live every day, knowing how to release pain, illness, and disease. And Gwenda, of course, you come from a background in nursing.
I do, Michelle. From the age of 8, my dream was to become a nurse, and so I did.
Wow. So, you know, healer, I mean, it's my belief that wherever we end up, you know, we're all spiritual beings living a human incarnation. So, you know, I believe that you don't have to be in the field to be living that meaningful life and doing something meaningful with your life. So, you know, you are a healer, and, you know, way before you got to being able to express that through your spiritual business, you were already in that role from a very early age. And then certainly, you know, being drawn to nursing was the result of some of that healing desire. Would you agree?
Absolutely, Michelle. Yes, it was just a natural thing for me, and I guess from experiences with spirit from very early ages. So it was just a normal thing for me to go and become a nurse.
Yeah, fantastic. And so tell us, give us a little bit of your story. I've heard a little bit of your story. You're coming on board. You're going to be one of a couple of new, I don't know if we say inductees or anyway, but you're coming on to work with our wellness community in a much closer way. You're becoming one of our healers on board our collaborator program. So Gwenda, tell our audience a little bit about you before we, you know, for the audience out there, we always, it's always a little bit of woo-woo talk. It's a little bit about, you know, that spiritual, the unique, the unusual, the unknown. We like to chat about that, and then we shall do some readings as we go. But for Gwenda, what we want is for you to join her community. So the natural exchange of the energy in the session, and how Gwenda is giving to you. If you know, click on the link in this post, go to her page, become a fan. Then for all of you who do and say done, you're more likely to get that reading in the session. And Gwenda, you and I were talking, you know, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your story, but also we were talking about the, you know, you are not one to use any props, so to speak. You don't use cards, you don't kind of get it in any other way than it just comes through. Spirit medicine woman.
That's right, Michelle. I don't use props. I bring the information through direct from the divine. So for me, I work with the archangels, I work with various deities, whoever it is that presents for the people that seek me out for their guidance, for their healing. And it's been a lifetime journey for me. It's just who I am. So I'm so very honoured and feel so very privileged. It's very important to me in how I live and how I deliver the healing energy and the wisdom. Yeah.
Yes. So in terms of how you deliver it, then we know that, you know, you're just going to read for people tonight that you're drawn to. It's all about healing. You said that you can tell just from tuning into them, just from looking at them.
That's right, Michelle. Yes. When I used to go to business networking events, people would tell me that I was very scary. That's not really a kind word, is it? But I will take you down a little memory lane where a hotel here in Perth, where I'm based, used to employ me every Halloween. And their cocktail bar would be done up in the most amazing Halloween scenery. And then I would come down dressed as the classic witch, the big hat, the big black cloak, the makeup, the broomstick, the whole shebang.
I love it.
And people thought that I was just part of the props, that I fitted in. And this particular night I came through and I would always be guided to who Spirit wanted to speak to. And I went over to these three young men who were thoroughly enjoying their beers, and straight into the first one Spirit wanted to talk to. These three young men leapt over two couches, spilled their beer everywhere and screeched out, frightened everybody else that were in the cocktail bar, and they were calling out, "Oh my God, she's effing real." They thought that I was just a prop.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah. So every year
That's hilarious. We've got some lovely ladies tuning in. So ladies, what I need you to do is go to Gwenda's community. I want you to like her page and become a fan, become a follower. And then, you know, pop back here, tell me that you've done that, and you will be much more likely to, hello to Michelle, hello to Heather. So, okay, well, we might start with Heather Ellis then. I need healing heart and belly is the comment from Heather. What do you think and feel, Gwenda? Heather Ellis. I'll write these down.
That's a good idea, Michelle. Hello, Heather, and thank you very much for your question. Please let me just look into you for a moment so I can see just what's going on. And bring forward the guidance for you in how you can sort out this heart. Now, when you speak to me and you say your heart and belly, I'm going to ask you to come back to Michelle and make sure that we are on the same page, because if you're talking to me about your heart, I can tell you that you have some stenosis in the valve on the left side of your heart. If you are talking to me about your heart from an emotional point of view, and you want to know what is hurting in your heart, that is totally different. So could you just let Michelle know if it is your emotional heart that you want to know about, or would you like me to look, as I have already, into your actual physical heart? You see, as spirit medicine woman, I can see into your body and into your energy bodies and see what it is that's going on, whether there is disease, illness, discord that is in the energy bodies and is yet to present in the physical, or if it is already in the physical. So with your belly, for example, I like to say that your eternal flame of life resides around your navel, commonly known as the solar plexus chakra. Your eternal flame of life can never be extinguished, but it can be dimmed through the experiences of this three-dimensional life. So when you're asking about your belly, what I see here is you have got some inflammation in your liver, and that causes you to have difficulties with some foods and with heat. You've also got a lot of damage through the small intestine, and that means that the small intestine is not able to deliver the nutrients from the food you eat. So you'll find that you may have quite a bit of disturbance with your digestive ability. You also carry a lot of nervous energy around your belly. So this too is providing issues around body fat for you around the belly area as well. So
wow.
I'll give you that for the moment. If you could feed back to Michelle, because I'm not able to see the comments. Thankfully, Michelle is.
Yeah, I
And
haven't had
again,
anything just yet, so let's let me have nothing's come through yet. But as I said, there's a lot to deal with. And when I go in here, sometimes I wonder if I can get it up on Facebook. Sometimes it's better, but then sometimes it clashes, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, ladies. But if you keep your,
it is a bit tricky, but that's off to an amazing start, Gwenda. Wow. I won't be asking you what's wrong with my stomach. That's a lot of information. Oops, hold on. I'm getting there. Now, Gwenda, when did you first, as I said, I know a little bit about your story, but our audience does not. When did you first, feel, when did you first find that you had this gift, and how did you accept it in the beginning?
My memories go way back to as being as young as 4, Michelle, being able to see things around people and out in the garden as well, but I didn't understand what I was seeing and what I could pick up on at that young age. And then on to being able to see spirit, so what some people would call ghosts, being able to see the ghosts. And found that I could talk to them and they could see me, which was sometimes scary for them and for me. I'm not sure who got the biggest fright. But then finding that I could actually converse with them was really interesting, and I was just so at home with it. I was also intrigued.
Yeah.
So all those memories go way back. But as a nurse, the things that I experienced as a nurse took it to a whole different level and a different understanding. And it's really the lady I think I might have talked to you about, Michelle, that came to theatre. And I say that the work that I do now is really in honour of her. And when I do speak at events internationally, I often still get quite teary when I think of her, because I can still be in that space, going back in that space, which is also what happens with me when it comes to spirit. I can go back into that space with them to see just what happened and what's going on with them. And someone's playing with my phone just now. So,
yes, I heard that.
It's going berserk. So yes, it's been an amazing journey, but for me, the lady in theatre in the 70s, you didn't have a lot of people come in to have tumours removed. And I do apologise for our audience. I did begin as a nurse, but I found that the human being was so very amazing and so very interesting that when I was on the wards, we could have 4 people in the one room, all being treated for the same surgery, post-surgery, or the same disease, and yet their recovery and their ability to manage was so different for each person. And some people say, well, of course it would be because we are all individuals. But from the angle I was coming from, I was fascinated with how the body recovered, even down to a fractured leg, how that person recovered versus the other person. So I thought about becoming a theatre specialist, and I became a scrub nurse in the theatres to find out more about the human body on the inside. I looked on the outside. And this beautiful lady came in to have a abdominal tumour removed. We didn't get down to the tumour. We only got to an area called the augmentum. And that is a beautiful protective shield, and it's in front of all of your abdominal organs. So that if you get bumped in your abdomen, the organs don't take the whole brunt of the bump. But we only got to there, and the surgeon said, suture up. And you never questioned a surgeon. You still wouldn't question a surgeon. But he saw over my mask, he saw the quizzical look in my eyes, and he said, well, nurse, you can see exactly the same thing I can. This lady's got 14 days to live. And my head just spun off my shoulders. Where did he get 14 days? Why 14 days? Why not 18? Why not 19? Why not 4 weeks? And I was just thinking, oh my word. So we sutured her up. We didn't do anything. And then he went on to say that when she was awake enough to be spoken to, which doesn't mean that she's conscious like you and I, Michelle,
Yeah.
she's just aware, awake enough to be spoken to, that I was to accompany him to give her the news that she had 14 days to live. Now, that in itself was a rarity, and it still is to this day. It is not the theatre nurse's job to go with the surgeon. It is the ward staff who do that.
Okay.
But I went with him, and to cut the story short, he said to her when she was awake enough, he wanted the ward to call her husband and she was to go home. And she was fighting through the anaesthetic now because she knew something was wrong. And then he went on to say, and in 8 days' time, I want you back because in 8 days' time, you're going to be very unwell. Make the most of your 8 days at home. You have 14 days to live. Bang, just like that. And he had asked me to hold her hand during delivering this news, and he had his hand on her heart, or on her chest, upper chest.
Mm-hmm.
By this time, she was crying, I was crying, and even the surgeon had tears. But we walked away, we went back to theatre, and we left her with that news. Well, Michelle, on the 8th day, I admitted her to the ward because if our theatre list was finished, we got sent to the ward. And being the senior scrub, I most often got sent back to the surgical floor. So I admitted her, and just as he said, she was very unwell. She didn't know who I was, but I certainly knew who she was. And then I laid her out on the 14th day. She died on the 14th day.
Wow, okay.
So as an honour to her, I then started a quest. I started a quest.
The doctor
to know.
also had, seems as if the doctor, do you think the doctor was coming, I think quite often with doctors that they've got, well, we all have that intuition. We all have that sixth sense. We're spiritual beings living a human incarnation. So that doctor sounds to me as if he had a little bit of guidance he may not have been aware of as well.
He was a brilliant surgeon, and yes, you'd be right, definitely. But again, as I'm sure our listeners would concur, it's quite a shock to be delivered that news that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I wanted to understand more about that, and from there, my abilities to see, my abilities to understand through the physical out into the energy bodies just exploded.
Wow, how old were you then?
Happened. I nursed for almost 20 years, off and on, and then I went into different areas, and then I came back around to wellness because that is my thing. But I have worked with my abilities for 36 years this year.
Yeah, wow, wonderful. Okay, so we've got quite a few lovely ladies joining your page. So let's have a look at who we can read for now. As I said, between the phone and the page, you know, none of it's all of it's all over the place. None of it's behaving well. You know, there you go. Kylie Crawford, Bolrath. I've got your name written down. I'm not sure if you've posted anything more than done. And for those that missed out on what I said or didn't hear what I said, if you can go to Gwenda's page, the link is in the post, and become a fan, become a follower, and come back and say done, then we're going to be more likely to get around to answering your call for a reading, ladies. So we've got Heal with Gwenda in our Wellness Conversations, the Woo Woo series tonight. And Gwenda is spirit medicine woman. So Gwenda has, you know, a very vast experience as a healer. She's just been telling us a little bit about her nursing experiences, which, you know, wow, is all I can say. You know, all I can do is go into that nervous kind of laughter about having that sort of ability, Gwenda. So let me see if there's a question, but her name's Kylie. If you can, you know, start to tune into Kylie Crawford Bolrath, I think you pronounce it like that.
Kylie, you have had for some time some difficulty with your direction in life and feeling confident to go forward in the way that you want to go forward. And this is reflected in your right hip, and being the right side of the body is also the masculine or the father side of the body, so relationship with your father. A lot around acceptance, your own personal acceptance of yourself, your belief of his acceptance of you. But being able to go forward for you, it's like looking at you with one foot tied around a rope and the other one trying to run around in circles. And presently you've found that you feel like you're moving around in circles and not able to really get yourself going forward in the way that you want to. And Kylie, you do also hold yourself back a lot. And if I might suggest that you do some really lovely heartfelt work on acceptance into yourself. And this will free up that foot that you've got bound up there, and it will also give you a lot more peace in your hip. And the area of disturbance in the hip goes right into where the capsule fits in. So the top of the femur fits into the hip joint, and that's where you get the movement. The pain that you get, and it also becomes a referred pain, and for you the referred pain flies right up across to behind your left rib cage. So that can quite often feel to you like you have got really bad indigestion or a trouble with your shoulder, and it's not. It is referred. The funny thing is it's referred across to your heart because of your relationship issue around feeling your own way in acceptance. So if we look into the actual hip joint, this is the capsule where the top of the femur fits in. The pain you get actually comes from in there. So it's really hard to get in there. You need to be able to free yourself, liberate yourself, go to your heart, use breath work, and be very, very kind and loving to yourself. And you'll find that that hip will open up and it will move beautifully. All the difficulty that you get across the left side of the body, it will just go. That's how magic the body is. It can just restore itself so quickly.
You are amazing. So you did a reading for Heather Ellis, and Heather A said thank you very much, and B confirmed that yes, she was after heart health, not love heart information. So how wonderful. And that reading there was for Kylie. Now we've also got Kim. So Kim, let's see what Kim is saying. Kim, I just found it a moment ago, what Kim said. Kim's question, as you start to tune into Kim, I think Kim mentioned being unwell, and I think being on a lot of meds.
There's a lot of disturbance in Kim's what would be called the second chakra, but I'm going to stay away from those kind of terms, ladies, and just keep it into the physical for you, and also moving out into some of your energy bodies. With the physical body for Kim, there is a lot of clutter and cluster around your pelvic area, so around the actual around your uterus.
With my hips, she says.
Sorry?
She says, I have problems with my hips.
Oh, the other lady.
No, Kim.
Kim. Yeah. So around your whole pelvic basin, yes, which includes your hips. But I'm looking specifically around the uterus, the fallopian tubes, and in particular down into the cervix area of the uterus. So there's a lot of clutter and cluster in there, which means that it's too thick, it's too heavy in there. You would have been prone to very heavy periods and difficulty with periods. Your hips are radiating out the pain from that area. Now, that area is all very much around the need to nurture self and to feel nurtured. But for anyone, in order to heal, they must be able to bring those things to themselves. We can't go externally. It doesn't work. It's like going shopping and you get a new handbag and a week later you want another new handbag. So we need to really go within ourselves. So back to your pelvic basin, there's also scar tissue in there, which is creating some of the cluster and density in there. With your hips, Again, it's a referred pain. There is actually no physical issue with your hips. They are being flared up because of the issues around the actual uterus and that whole energetic space within your pelvic area. You would need to be very mindful of what sort of walking that you did because of this. So you would not want to be doing anything that is very inclined or declined for that matter. So you want to be on pretty even ground. Otherwise, you're really going to get a lot more pain through those hips being radiated out. But if you could come home to yourself and offer yourself some beautiful ways of nurture. So allowing yourself to immerse into loveliness of nurture, all for you, you'll find that your pelvic area won't feel so heavy because you can feel quite cumbersome, quite heavy in that area. For you, it will feel like you're heavy in your hips and as if you struggle through your hips. It's not your hips, truly it isn't. So bring that nurture. You are amazing. It will release it.
Well, Kylie came back. Kylie, the reading you did just before Kim. Kylie has come back to say, yep, thank you so much. It was spot on, of course, about her shoulders. So how amazing is that? Wow. Now, how can I get in touch with you for an extended reading, for to go further into this, Gwenda?
If you've gone to my page, you will find that my phone number is there. So you can either text me on 0407 939 818, or you can email me Gwenda at healwithgwenda.com, and we can go forward from there.
You are amazing. Well, we've got 36, we've got 26 fabulous ladies that have tuned in. So hello to Florin, to Amanda, the Gray, Karen McPaul, we've got Natasha, Rebecca. So hello to all of you. Michelle has joined us, Trish. So hello and thank you for joining us here. We'd love you to join Gwenda's community. You know, the giving that Gwenda's doing in this session. Gwenda is spirit medicine woman and really comes from a lifetime of giftedness and experience in this area, and also, ladies, obviously many lifetimes of having this gift and sharing this gift. So in return for that, if you can pop over to her page and like it, become a fan, become a follower, come back here, let us know that you've done that. So the next person that you're going to turn into, Gwenda, is Rebecca Dean.
Yeah,
I'll see if Rebecca has got any questions for you.
Rebecca, you carry too much acidity in the joints of your body, and it is not specific to one area. You will find that you have difficulties in your shoulder joints on both sides, your knees, even your toes. So where we've got joints, where we've got any kind of movable bones, there's too much acidity in there for you, Rebecca. And the thing about this is that it is repressed and withheld anger. So anger is a very powerful emotion, and we're either retaining the anger to ourselves because we haven't been in a space of forgiveness towards ourselves, or we have withheld anger towards someone else because of something they've done. Now, the funny thing is that it actually goes both ways, but the hardest thing is to recognize that we have been angry with ourselves for allowing ourselves to be treated a certain way, or to have let something come to us that's caused so much disturbance. It's much easier to point fingers outwardly. And one thing that my beautiful grandmother always said to me was, remember, when you're pointing a finger at someone else, there's 4 pointing back at you.
Back at you. I learned that too a long time ago.
So really, if you have a look at your body language when you are pointing fingers, you'll actually find that you've got 9 fingers pointing back at you because the other hand will be close to you. So that's a bit of a double whammy. So Rebecca, you actually caught my attention when Michelle was reading names out. and also around your throat chakra. So again, I say I'm using those words so that those of you who understand the chakras know where I'm at. But for you, Rebecca, around your throat area, your thyroid is sluggish. Your thymus gland also is not functioning at its very best. And all of this is interrelated between your heart and throat chakras. With your throat and having issues with your thyroid is very much around you not feeling that you can express yourself freely and truthfully, but it's more about expressing who you are, because where you are and with the toxicity that you have through all of your joints, it's unfortunate that it's come down a bit of a family line. And it's a little bit like the old thing of being a child, being seen, not being heard, not being able to be free to be you. So, you know, we all wear a lot of masks through our lifetime until we come to understand that we wear them for a reason, and most often it's to be accepted or it's to hide or whatever. I can go a lot more into depth in that, but for you, it is because you've never been able to feel safe in just being you. Almost like you just won't be accepted. So I would ask you to do some beautiful work on yourself. Look at you and really find the things you love about you. It doesn't matter what anyone else says about you. If you love your hair, if you love your big toenail, if you love when your nails are painted, immerse yourself into those things that you love about you. And as you do it, let yourself hum. Find a song, find a tune that lights you up, and hum it through your throat, and that will open you up, and it will ease a lot of the stagnation that is in the toxicity and stagnation that's in all of your joints throughout your body. You're going to feel so much better. Your energy will be better. You don't sleep well. You get up tired more often than you get up feeling really good. It's hard for you to get going in a day. So lots of love around there for you.
And that's actually for Rebecca Jean. I haven't had any feedback from Rebecca yet, but Natasha says, that's me. It seriously sounds like you're talking about me. How interesting is that? Okay, we've got amazing work. Oh, that's lovely.
Thank you.
Fantastic advice for all, Florence said. Okay, now I've got... LeGray Prostar. Now, do you have, as Gwenda's tuning into you, LeGray, if you have, and so Kylie also came back with some feedback. You read for Kylie earlier in the session. Amazing reading. So ladies, if you want to go deeper into your reading, if you want an in-depth reading, then you must connect with Heal with Gwenda. As you can hear, unbelievable, amazing information, insight. I mean, I don't know how you know all this stuff, but you are just tuning into people. This is awesome. I am loving it. So lots of people are joining your page here. We can't do, Gwenda can't do for all of you, but you can all go to her page. And I'm sure, Gwenda, do you do some lives and some, little ad hoc readings here and there on your page?
I do lives, Michelle, yes, where I come in to speak about specific things that may be a topic of the week or just what Spirit want to talk about. But people are more than welcome to message and find out how they can have a personal session. And of course, I read for all around the world, so it doesn't matter where you are.
Yes.
As you can see, I can connect with you, even though I can't even see you.
And because you're in WA anyway, I'm in Melbourne, you're in WA, isn't this beautiful, social media and how it, the beauty of online. Now, LeGray hasn't given me any specifics, so if you just tune into LeGray and
I'd rather they don't anyway, Michelle. So,
good. Fair enough.
LeGray, your circulation is your key issue, and you really need to look at what I call cleansing and rejuvenating your whole circulatory system. There is a lot of plaque, a lot of clutter in your blood. So your blood essentially needs a really good spring clean. Now, the difficulty that occurs in the body when we don't have clean blood is that you can have foggy brain. You can feel like you just can't seem to get it together all the time and be clear and make decisions easily. You will sometimes, and in your case, I see you bruise easily. And we have often breathlessness as well. And it's all because the blood is just too gunked up. And for you, there's too much plaque throughout your circulatory system. So you could really do with a beautiful big spring clean overhaul of your circulation. Now, there is heart issues in your family. They come down your father's line of the family. And unfortunately, you tick that box. However, you did not tick them to be that serious where, like some of your earlier ancestors, actually passed from this world because of heart disease. You will not do that. You will instead create an issue for yourself, being able to be present, being able to remain bright mentally. So it would be likened to senility, dementia, that sort of thing, where you become very forgetful, and the medical world would diagnose you with those conditions. In fact, it would not be correct. It would be because your heart is not able to pump the blood around your body well enough, because it's like cluggy oil. So, you know, when you have your car not running properly, what do? We go and tune it up. But how often do we tune up our own engine, our own heart, by cleansing the blood? So your circulation is your key issue.
Amazing. I've got Ola Grace said, my spirit guide is trying to talk to me. I just need to know I'm doing the right thing to talk to them.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with your spirit guides. Your spirit guides just can't wait to help you, can't wait to guide you. The thing is to ensure that you are hearing from your spirit guides, that you are not just hearing from wanton spirit that wander around and are willing to talk to anyone who will listen. So your spirit guides have a whole different feeling to them. It is a very quiet gentleness. It has a beautiful, loving warmth with it when your spirit guides are trying to guide you in a particular way or answer your questions. And most definitely, you should always listen to their advice. I'm not going to say take their advice, because you were given free will and the right of choice, which is where we make a big mess. So, our spirit guides are always wanting to help, as do the angels. But as soon as we get in the way with our mind and decide, no, that's not really what I wanted to hear. That's what I find when I do readings. People want to argue the point because that's not the answer they wanted. And I say, I'm just the messenger, don't shoot me. It really is down to you being open to the guidance that they bring for you, because it does come from the highest source that you could possibly want.
That's amazing. Now, I wanted to just go, I've lost it now. I had it before, but I wanted to just, there's lots of beautiful ladies that have joined your page, which is terrific.
Thank you, ladies.
And, but there was somebody.
You have got a Laurie there. Tracy. Is there a Laurie there somewhere, Michelle? Can you find a Laurie? I'm getting a Laurie, and not necessarily a male, a female Laurie. If you've gone by in the chats, or you haven't made a comment, would you please come on, because you have a grandmother who wishes to speak to you from spirit. Ooh. So Laurie, I want you to come forward, or better still, I'll just deliver the message, and Laurie, you can pick it up whenever you want. So it is around a book that the grandmother would have held very dearly to for Laurie, and this grandmother wants you to go back to your books. She wants you to go back and finish what you started, and stop half cocking things. So that means that you only start something and you spend very little time with it, and then you get distracted onto something else. And your grandmother's saying, would you please stop that and come back and really put yourself into your dream, because you keep getting yourself pulled away from your dream. So Laurie, your grandmother, and also an unborn child for you stands with your grandmother, and it was nothing to do with anything that you did or didn't do as to why this child didn't come through. It was totally their choice not to come into this world. But they stand with your grandmother, and both of them are saying that you are frustrating them because you just won't get on with things. So stop wasting time and be true to yourself. Yeah. So who did you have there, Michelle?
Right. So I haven't got. We'll wait for Laurie to come through. There is a Florin that's been watching us. I'm not sure if that could be, that could be a nickname. We'll see. Florin.
No.
Okay. This one, Jay McNeely.
Jay, you want to make sure that you pick up that lotto ticket that you keep thinking about, because your time is coming for a nice little surge of abundance. But the thing is, it's not going to be the answer to your prayers effectively. Being able to make peace with yourself in regards to relationships, and all very much on the left side of your body. So these are relationships with females, and it's a difficulty arisen through your own upbringing, and in particular a leading female, patriarchal. So a leading female is not your mother, it's a grandmother influence here. And the relationships for you that you've encountered through your life that have always led you to tears. So feeling such a sadness with you, with things going right for you in relationships. You really need to be able to find the peace in yourself and start to look at yourself as being the divine, beautiful person that you are. And you will bring back to you will bring people to you who are going to honor who you are. The thing with this, though, is that it has got what I call imprint. So it's imprint from family lineage, ancestral lineage, and that needs to be severed so that you can be free to enjoy the relationships in your life. And female relationships for you have been so very difficult, and it's made it hard for you to feel that you would be secure and safe in a relationship of the heart. So looking for love of the heart, because of this lineage that you have going on, has made it difficult.
There's a lot of feedback from Jay. I'm not sure if you want to hear it or not. Did you want a bit more information, Gwenda?
Not particularly.
Right. Okay. Cool. Because there's a bit of feedback there with regards to what he or she is going through. You can never tell from the name.
If it was, if it's feedback as to the messages or more clarity, yes, but not.
Yeah. No. It was what was already on there before the reading.
Not if it was to actually tell me what's going on. I prefer not to know.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, no.
All right, no problem. Is there any more for Jay?
No.
Okay, terrific. Now, I wanted to, so there's a couple of questions. We've had some people that have already had a reading from Gwenda have come back with some additional questions. And so, ladies, to that, we will say that, we would love you to actually go to Gwenda's page, become a fan and follow, and actually book in for an in-depth reading. So, Jay, will it be my singing voice? Yes, my daughter runs me.
Thank you, Jay.
Wow.
Yeah, you really need to free yourself from that.
Wow. Great reading, LeGray. It said great reading. I also wanted to see if anything came up for Tracy Fernley Pearson. Gwenda?
Tracy, you have a lot of trouble with calcification in both breasts. Now, the thing for you to understand is that this is not anything nasty. It is, it's all very much to do with your own sense of self-love, self-confidence with love to yourself, and also being successful with love with other people. Everything across your chest, you've also got markings in your lungs, like people get when they've had pleurisy, and I'm going to say to you that that's actually from a past life. You've brought that injury, you've brought that hurt through to this world this time, because once again you're experiencing the difficulties around love, first and foremost to self, and then receiving the kind of love that you want so much, that you yearn for. And this is creating calcification in both of your breasts. So when you feel like there is hardness in there, or you get alerted that, oh my God, you better do something, what I'm going to ask you to do is spend time.
Oops, sorry. Oops. Oop. I still got you?
Yeah, I'm still here. Spend time loving you, and very much doing things that are very loving and nurturing around the breast. So whether that be using the most beautiful oils and things, and massaging through the breast to help break down this calcification. Also be very mindful of the sort of foods that you eat, because they impact on calcification in the body. So you want to make sure that you're eating foods that are clean and are fresh. Most often when we are needing love or looking for love, we will go for what are called comfort foods. I don't call them comfort foods, I call them punishment foods, because not one comfort food is good for you, and you are looking for comfort in the food that you can't get from an emotional need. So with you, you need to really look at the sort of foods you're having, and please don't rush off and have a whole lot of juices and going down that route of thinking that juice is going to clean it up, because for you, the juice will actually create more calcification. So.
Wow. That's amazing. I've just popped your link, you know, in this on this post, in this feed. I don't know what you how you call that, ladies. If you want to, it's in the post as well. So, but I've just also put it in the comments. So you can join Gwenda's page, and I would absolutely be encouraging you to get a full reading. So, okay, we've also got some other, we'll see if we can do some quicker readings for a couple of others. We've got Joanne. Joanne Grenz also joined your page.
Thank you, Joanne, and welcome. Okay, knees. Goodness me, you have someone who weighs you down sitting on your knees, Joanna, and this is actually, it is spirit energy, right? Now, this is not someone who sits on your knees. It is the energetic imprint of a grandparent who actually sits on your knees. Now, that should be the other way around, right? But in your case, it's not. So you're taking on a lot of the weight of someone who's actually passed from this world. So for you, it's very much about making peace with what you don't feel you did enough of, or you didn't give enough time to with this person. And you putting this weight down through your knees, and this is your favorite storing place when things in your life aren't going well and make you feel heavy. You put it all into your knees, and knees actually represent stubbornness, and you're stubborn about letting go of things that that you feel, you put it on top of you, that you feel you haven't done for someone, oh my goodness me, make peace with that and let it go. I mean, what you don't do for someone else, they're probably not even thinking about it, but you want to do so much for people, and then you put yourself in a predicament, you blame yourself and feel you just didn't do enough. So all of this is going into your knees, and it is actually damaging the meniscus. So it's damaging you on a physical aspect. So get a book and write down all the people that you've weighed down into your knees. Write a little story about what you feel you didn't do for them. Then put on the bottom of it, I love you, I love myself ever so much, and I'm glad I did what I did for you. I did my best. And this is the part you're missing out on with how you take other people's stuff on. It's you're not giving yourself any leeway for saying, I did my best, because you have. Every issue where you've got in here, you did do your best, but you also have a bit of a thing about being a perfectionist. So if you're going to do something, you want to do it really well. And your poor knees, they really need a break. So step away from that, and your knees will free up and move. And the other thing about the knees is where the ego can take over. So ego is trying to drive you more through your knees. You'll bring yourself to your knees. That good old saying, through being too stubborn and letting the ego drive you.
I love it. And Gwenda, what do you love about your work? What do you love about the work that you do?
Oh, Michelle, thank you for asking that. It is seeing, when I do my retreats, when I do my healings, when I speak, it is seeing the aha go on, and even being able to see energy just being expelled through someone going, oh my God, I can't believe that's what I've been doing. So seeing the penny drop, seeing someone's health improve, incredibly, and then be able to live a life that they deserve to live, and enjoying it. And it makes my heart sing. It really does.
Oh, that's so fantastic. I love it. It's so filling, isn't it? It's so it leaves us with such a full feeling,
very much
fulfilled. So ladies, we can't Gwenda is absolutely amazing, as you can see and feel and hear, but she can't read for everybody. There were a bunch of you that joined her page earlier in the session, so I'm trying to ensure that those of you are getting through. So Amanda Stevens, we've got 2 left, I think. Amanda and Kat Gray did join at the start of the session. So if we can tune into Amanda and then after that, Kat, that might be all we have time for.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Pat. Amanda, at the back of your lungs, the alveoli in the lungs do not function properly there. You can be very prone to bronchial and chest issues, and it's always at the back of your chest. You need to make sure that you keep yourself very warm. It is important to keep your chest area and down around to your navel warm as well, because your kidneys are related to this issue as well. So we have some issues with fluid retention, particularly when it's cold. Now, this problem in the back of your lungs, I'm sorry to say, but it comes from your very early time in this world. You have, in the back of your lungs, you have your mother's tears. So as a child, as a brand new baby, you took on the woe of your mum. And that is not something that your mum ever set out to do. It is something that you took on. You're a very sensitive person and you feel what others are feeling, and it affects you a lot into your physical self. So pouring golden light into the back of your lungs, literally see it as going down, right down into your lungs and expanding it out with each breath. Golden light it must be. You will find that you can breathe so much easier. You will not have the bronchial issues, the colds and things. Your kidneys will warm up. Your kidneys are about fear, and this was a lot of what your mother's tears were about. So you carry fear from your mum. None of this is yours, right? So you really need to be free of it, and you can be free of it. Your kidneys also, on the top part of them, where the adrenal glands are, they're quite fatigued. So if you find that you very easily fatigue, it's because of this long time of fear across the adrenal glands, and you quite often pump out too much adrenaline. It's not good. Cortisol, adrenaline, the flight and fight hormones. So your body gets quite exhausted, and you run on nervous energy quite a bit. So
wow.
Please pour the golden light into the back of your lungs. You'll feel so much better. Pat, you have an awesome sense of humor, and you really light the world up for people. You bring so much joy and thrill for everyone else, and you can make people laugh ever so easily. Please don't hide behind that. You bring the humor. You love to make other people laugh, but I'm not going to say here why you hide behind that humor for yourself. This is something very, very personal for you. So I would ask you to honor yourself with that wonderful warmth that you bring, making everyone else happy and making them laugh. Have some laughs for yourself and warm it right through your heart, and let that grief go.
I thought you were going to say there about her sense of humour, Gwenda, that, you know, perhaps she was had a bit of a dirty or a sarcastic. I thought you were going to say, you know, she's got a bit of a quirky sense of humour. But you're talking about why the humour, what's going on behind the humour. Well, you have been absolutely amazing. You've got quite the fan club out there. Gwenda, they're all going to be absolutely banging your door down and looking for readings. I'm going to, you know, make the, what is it? I'm going to, I've forgotten what the word is. I've got dementia now. Anyway, I've just loved you as I've loved you. You've been absolutely amazing. I think that's all we've got time for, ladies and gents, but we'd love you to go and find Gwenda, heal with Gwenda. Gwenda's coming on board our wellness community. You know, ladies and gents, if you want more information on that, come and join our wellness community. You can find us on you can find our website, www.ourwellnesscommunity.com.au. If you too want to work with us, there's all sorts of different ways in which you can. And what it's about is quite simple. You know, our wellness community is all about bringing people together and bringing out the best in them. And it's an online centre for wellness in body, mind, heart and soul. And what we want to do is, when it comes to the wellness, the spiritual, the holistic, the alternative healing, and all the many ways in which we've all grown better in life, we want to, you know, our wellness community has built many platforms in which all of that can be shared. Our story, our tools, our modalities. You know, here's Gwenda tonight, absolutely able to tune in and read for you all in that spirit medicine woman ways. The way, what was that? The way...
WayMaker.
The WayMaker. Oh, I just love it. And what Gwenda has done is tune in and see exactly what's going on in the body, and then to give you some ways in which you can easily turn that around and enjoy a better you and live a better life moving forward. So our wellness community is all about promoting women like Gwenda, promoting women like you that have these amazing gifts and want to share that with the world. So come and join us, and honestly get, if you've had a little reading, get a full reading from Gwenda, and if you didn't have any reading at all, join her page and look out. Gwenda will be back in this space very soon anyway. Yay, did you have fun?
Oh, I did. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone, for coming in to see us. Yeah.
You were amazing. Thank you, ladies, and we'll see you next week on Spiritual Events Directory, Wellness Conversations, the Woo Woo series. Bye.
Bye, everybody.